Goodbye, pet boogers. Oh, I thought we would never have this conversation, and yet here we are. I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, if you go over to askahousecleaner.com, there's a blue button in the corner. If you click on that button, you can send your message to me here at the show. Somebody called in and they asked this question.
We have a 75-pound standard poodle with allergy issues, and his eyes get really irritated. So he produces a lot of, for lack of a better way to say it, eye boogers. We try to keep him cleaned up, but it's a constant thing. He'll shake his head and they'll fly off onto the walls, or he'll rub his face on the walls. And these things go from the baseboards to about 4 feet up on the wall. And by the time we find them, they're already dried. What's the best way to try to clean them off of our flat paint without stripping the paint off? Thank you.
All right, pet boogers and pet slobber. It's one of those joys of being a professional house cleaner that you get to see and deal with on a regular basis. Over the last 31 years as a professional house cleaner, I have discovered a couple of things about pet boogers. All right, the first is that when they hit the flat paint, there will be a small stain even if you do remove it. And that's because pets have a protein inside their bodies that comes out through saliva and the eye ducts and that kind of stuff, especially if they have allergies. So when it hits the wall, even if you remove the booger, it's going to leave a small stain. So as a professional house cleaner, one of the products that we use is a product by OdoBan, and it's a bio stain and odor remover. And this is a ready-to-use product. You can buy it by the gallon. If you have a lot of pet boogers, you can buy it by smaller containers as well. We use it by the gallon because, again, we're professional companies and we use a lot of it. I do have a pump here that is a 1 ounce pump, and this measures only 1 ounce. So you're not trying to pour a heavy container. And so this can just sit on the side of your laundry room sink or something like that. One of the things that I recommend is that you get a shot glass. And you'll need a shot glass for cleaning up your house, okay? It's going to be just a very small amount. We're going to pump just a little bit in there. We don't need a lot. That's a ready-to-use product, so we're not going to dilute it. We're not going to add anything with it. If you get a shot glass and put just a little bit of it in, you can get a damp sponge. This is just a cellulose sponge. It doesn't have any scrubby on it whatsoever. You want to wet the sponge first and squeeze out all of the water so there's no water in the sponge. It's just flexible. Then you're going to roll it in half and you're going to dip it inside your solution, okay? So it might take it all. What you're going to have is just a little bit of wetness on the end of your sponge. Holding your sponge like this, you're going to go up to the booger on the wall. You're going to just press it up against the booger and you're just going to wait 30 seconds to a minute. Not a long time, and you're not going to squish any of the chemical out. You don't want it dribbling down the side of your wall. You just want to dampen it and hold it there, okay? So you're going to hold it there and it's going to loosen it up a little bit. The next thing that I have, and we have these as professional house cleaners, I will leave these in the show notes. This is a 2-sided razor blade. One side has a metal razor, the other side has a plastic razor. We're only going to use the plastic razor because we don't want to chip off any paint. But once you've loosened up the booger with the sponge, we're going to take the plastic side and we're just going to gently lift it off. And then you can actually put it back inside the cup because your cup will probably be empty. All the stuff went onto your sponge, okay? So you'll scoop this off, put the little booger in here, and then you can go dump it in the trash and wash out your shot glass, okay? So that's actually the process of doing it. It's a pretty simple process. Here's the tip. If you have several boogers on the wall, you're going to start with the bottom booger. And that way, if anything does leak from your sponge, it's not going to run down the side of the wall. Okay, you're going to work your way up. All right, and each time you can still reuse the same sponge for multiple boogers. All you're doing is using the dampness on the sponge to loosen up the booger so you can scrape it off and put it inside your shot glass. Okay, so it's just a really easy process. And then the biostain remover will remove the protein stain. So that way there's no stain on your wall, you didn't damage your wall, and the boogers are gone. But it's a repetitive process. You got to do it every time you see the boogers. So as soon as you catch them, do the little process. And like I said, I will leave links in the show notes to all of this so that you can have a house free of boogers. One note, if pets are doing boogers on a regular basis, it might be a great opportunity to talk to the vet and just find out if there's an allergy medicine that the dog can take that will help reduce that. It will help them see better. As people, we have allergies and it makes our eyes bug out. And then we have respiratory problems and we can't breathe and our nose gets stuffy and stuff like that. Animals also have allergies. And so there's probably something that would relieve the dog of having this in his eyes. So I'm sorry that you're going through that. Again, it's a simple process. And I hope that you let me know how it works out getting rid of all of the pet boogers in your house. All right, if you found this helpful, give us a thumbs up. You can also subscribe because we have lots of tips that are odd and unusual just like this to help clean your house. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.